So, chapter 7 is all about boundaries. My husband just informed me it's probably more professional to remove the guitar from the background. So, that's why the guitar's not in the background anymore. Um, so, boundaries. This is really, really important. And it's a really blurry area. And it's something that's taken me a really long time as a therapist to get clear on. Perhaps because of my age. When I started, I was quite young. I started doing colonics when I was in my early 20s. So, I was in clinic, I was 20. So I found it really difficult to sort of manage clients when they were taking up more time than their appointment had allocated. You all know there's clients that stay way longer than they should or show up 45 minutes early just to have a cup of tea and a chat when really you've got other clients to attend to. When I started running my own practice, clients had my mobile phone number. And so, they would call me, they would text me, we'd chat for hours on the phone. And it was a really big learning experience for me about personal boundaries, about what's okay and what's not okay, and what I need, and what I need to, I guess, be the best therapist I can be. And when is it time to say to someone like, hey, like this work is amazing and I want to keep doing it with you, but right now I have other clients, so how about we book in a one-on-one session where I can go, we can work on this, and I've got, these skills or these things to help you. So things like that I think is really important to know what's okay and what's not okay for you as a colon hydrotherapist. Like a lot of times you really connect with someone and, you might want to go on and be friends with them, and that's completely normal and okay, but if that's okay for you. And I found sometimes, like, because you connect so well with a client, they often think that, you're friends. And I was talking to somebody the other day, another colon hydrotherapist, and she's like, now they're adding me on Facebook. And she goes, that's not okay. And I was like, well, I've kind of resigned my Facebook profiles to the public view. They're not for me in my private life. I don't share many private things on them. So I don't care if clients add me on Facebook. Actually, I quite enjoy it because it's good, because if I have an offer or something, I can send them information about it. But for me, I see, my social media stuff as purely professional, whereas she still saw her social media profile as something private for her. So being really clear on what your boundaries are and what, you're willing to give and how you're willing to give, particularly when you're first running your own practice. This is not so much when you're working for someone else. Oh, yeah, even it could be for when you're working for someone else. Really knowing how much your time is worth and how much your energy is worth as a colon hydrotherapist. Like, your professional development, you've spent years and years developing yourself to a level where you know what you know. You've spent thousands of dollars on, trainings and um, education, and hours and hours and hours of your life reading and educating yourself. So if somebody, is wanting a free consult and you're not okay with that, it's completely fine to say no. And you don't have to say no in an aggressive you don't even have to say no. You can just say no internally and somehow funnel them into a private appointment, and really having clear of what your boundaries are and what your worth is. And that will help you preserve your energy, because when you're dealing with so many clients day in and day out, you really need to know where to put your energy and when. So, when to spend a lot of time with this person, when not to spend a lot of time with that person. Like, quite often I know that if I spend more time with someone, um, there'll be a better outcome, whatever that outcome may be for me, whether they'll buy more colonics or whether, they'll get a breakthrough. Or quite often I've been really invested in somebody having a breakthrough and I'll spend way more time than I probably should have. But sometimes that's okay if it's okay for you, and sometimes it's not okay if it's depleting you. So being very clear on what your boundaries are will help you be a better therapist long term, because the last thing you want to do, and I've seen this over and over again, is therapists just burn themselves out because they're empaths, they feel people, they want to help people, and they just end up damaging themselves. So this one's a really important one. Know your boundaries. What are your boundaries? Let's have a discussion about it. Type it in the comment. What's okay for you? What's not okay for you? What are techniques that you use to kind of, end a conversation, or finish up with someone that's taking up a little bit too much time? What are some things that you say? One thing that I always say, I hate kicking people off the machine. Like I hate saying you need to finish up now. I just think it sounds a little bit aggressive, particularly if you're like in the middle of a massive release. If somebody comes and goes, oh, you've got to finish shitting, it can be a little bit hard, right? So I always, this is my little technique, I knock on the door and I go, how'd you go? As in like, is your session finished? Oh, I think you've had a great session today, in the past tense, as in like it's over. And then I'll say, do you need a little bit more time before you finish up? As in like you're going to finish up soon. And so that's the way I word it to make it sound less kind of invasive. So that's a little trick from me. But what are your tricks? Post them below.